A song of brooms and mops, he says.
That's funny.
Uh,
That's actually funny. You're funny.
I I think you're amazing, Boogie. Not as like a fucking fanboy, but as a fucking human. I'm super happy to see where you're at, where you've been,
Thanks, man.
where you had to go, and then where you're at now. Um, but I
You
feel
know,
you.
it all just comes from experience, okay? And like, I know I'm a retard, and everybody knows my mistakes. I've been very public, okay? But let me walk you through some life advice today. This is for you. Bashar would agree with everything I'm about to say here, but I didn't learn it from Bashar. I just got it reaffirmed by Bashar, right? A lot of this, everything I'm about to say, comes from experience, okay? Uh, every free will, the definition of free will, chat, is to say yes or no. That's it. That's all there is to free will. You get to respond to your emotions. You get to respond to your feelings. This is 35 years of therapy talking. You get to respond to your thoughts, your feelings, the outside sources around you. You get to say yes or you get to say no. Mitch has looked at this opportunity and said no. And now he's on the path that decision has made for him. Is it a good path? Is it a bad path? Only time will tell, but that's him exerting his free will. When I have an opportunity laid in front of me, I say yes. Now, maybe I learned that from improv. I say yes, and maybe that's where it comes from. Okay. But when an opportunity is laid in front of me, my answer is yes, every time. Sometimes it's bad. I accidentally scam a bunch of people with crypto, allegedly, right? Sometimes it's bad because should I go make this video to the internet and talk about the doctor telling me I have cancer? Just told me I had it. Should I rush to the internet and do it? Yes. Sometimes it's bad. Sometimes I end up with my soulmate who's in the other room watching this right now. Sometimes I end up on the number like top tier YouTuber list. Sometimes I end up getting to work with Keemstar, one of my favorite people on the planet. So like fucking, I don't know. That's it. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. That's life.
Yeah.
You either say yes or no. And if you're saying no, I mean, obviously say no to like, hey, you want to rob a bank? Obviously say no.
You know,
Hey, man, you want to try drugs? Probably not.
unless
Right. But if there's a chance for success, you say yes.
Primo $10 says, not gonna lie, Boogie, you're messed up for trying to put a baby in that 22-year-old. And when you died, you're just dooming that. When you will die, you're dooming the child instead of breaking the cycle.
Yeah, I'm dooming that child to being raised by two wonderful people and my wonderful girlfriend and her wonderful family. Oh no, terrible.
Yeah,
Oh
me
no.
and my partner talked about having kids recently. You know, and we have a not the same age gap as you, but it's fairly significant, I guess, for me because I'll be turning 29 soon. She turned 21, right? So she'll be 22 later this year.
Yeah.
I'm getting old in terms of like my culture for having a kid. You know, I have a little brother who's 22 and he's on his second daughter, right? Everyone at the family gatherings, like fucking Thanksgiving or Christmas, like, what the fuck, Tech Protect? Where's your kid?
Now, one of the things I can say about Boogie, and yes, I am doing a separate video on this, even though I didn't really get a chance to cover it, so I decided to do its own little video of this particular two different clips about Boogie. First off, I don't know why anybody would take life advice. I don't understand that, right? Of all the people you would take life advice from is Boogie, who, first off, was only successful because he had a better understanding of the internet at the time, and he was able to monopolize that. Second off, because he was a fat nerd, and at the time, nerd culture was on the rise. After that, he just became a fat, degenerate idiot. And during the course of many years, he ended up destroying his life, and probably to some extent destroying other people's life, right? And, again, why are you taking such advice from a guy who faked cancers, probably faking in his childhood? For some weird reason, it's kind of irked me. And like the way Tech Protect is just like sucking up to Boogie. I don't know if he's trying to mess with Boogie or he was trying to be on Boogie's good side, but like you can just tell that he was glazing him and dick riding him. And I'm just like, dude, come on. Of all the people you can take life advice from, of all the people in the world, all the locales, if anything, you should do the opposite that Boogie does. Boogie's just a boomer and a nihilist at this point, right? Right, he talks about a guy named Basar who believes in like aliens and all that weird stuff, and yet he can't even fix his own life. It's like almost like the Christian situation where Christian believe that the hyperdimensional universes, right? If you remember all the multiverses were going to collide, and that was going to fix that. It's like kind of like that. And it's almost very it is very, not even that it's almost, it is very nihilistic to the point where it's just annoying every time he brings up life. Whether it's economics or what. Remember like almost 2 weeks ago he said Walmart isn't going to be stock anymore? Go to Walmart right now, there's everything's still stock. Whatever Boogie says anything like that, like I'm not saying a clock can't, like a broken clock could be right once in a while. But oh, try me. The next clip got to me.
Loving family to be born into, my girlfriend and her family. I didn't get that. I'm gonna be giving my kid a hell of a lot more than I got. And then yeah, they're gonna have an absentee dad. So did I. I also had an absentee mom. My child's going to have a loving mother. But the most important thing, and this is this comes from therapy, but you all tell me if I'm wrong, okay? Eric, would you rather exist or not exist?
So in the last couple of days, Boogie's been talking about being a dad, or not really a dad. He's straight up admit that he's gonna be an absentee dad, and I'm just very disturbed by that whole thing. And I understand. I just said Boogie is a nihilist, which he is at this point. But the fact that you're going on about cheering about having a kid, while at the same time you're saying that I'm just gonna be an absentee dad because my dad was absentee, I'm like, I don't even think you even deserve a kid. I know some people may think that's messed up to say, but I'm sorry. If your kid, like, imagine having that mindset, right? It's wrong. It's just very wrong. It is very terrifying that you are already going to have a kid, but you're already deciding to be absentee. You know, where you have the money and the time to get your life together, get fit, and be able to live long enough to potentially see your own child get married one day. Nah, you're just gonna accept that I'm just gonna, be gone before that kid even hits even elementary school. Something about this clip just completely irked me in the wrong way. Like, in a way that I never really imagined. Now, like, I know it's ridiculous to get mad at a lolcow, but a lot of people do, and I'm not the only one. Right? Because a lot of people get mad at Keemstar, and rightfully so, but when it's coming to Boogie, I'm just like, dude. It's like, again, like, imagine being tech protect and taking life advice from Boogie, and then you're here sitting here listening to Boogie just going on, like, and this isn't the only time he straight up said that he may just be an absentee dad because he won't live long enough to see it. But I'm like, dude, you have the money, you have the resource. It's not like you don't anymore. You do. You're sitting on basically the most amount of money you're gonna see anytime soon, and yet you're doing like that. And I understand that, like, oh yeah, you're gonna have a loving, caring family. That's perfectly fine, but they're up in age themselves, right? Those people ain't gonna be around long either. Heck, they may just kick the bucket sooner than Boogie. And Boogie has said that, he admitted that, but unless Boogie's lying, but it wouldn't be too surprising. So imagine you are a guy, you're with a woman, you're having a hard time having kids. A lot of guys go through that, and I don't blame them. But imagine that happening in your life, and you're hearing a fat fuck going on about that he'll be an absentee dad. And let's be real, Boogie can afford all the medication, all whatever he needs to have a kid, and you can't. You know what? And it's got on my nerves. And I have really no respect for him. I never really had respect for him anymore. But, after this, I'm just like, hey, you don't deserve anything, Boogie. If you're going to act like an absentee dad and yet you're going to praise all this stuff, but then also act like a nihilist, you don't deserve respect. I'm not the only one, and no one's calling it out. Maybe people still call him out for, hey, maybe if you get your life together now, you will see your kid graduate high school. Nah. Till then, y'all have a good one, be safe, and God bless.